Hi, in the study of E.Maths, the understanding of algebra is very important. So today I picked a question from O-Level E.Maths 2017 Paper 2 Question 7 to look further into algebras. First, let's look at the question. An open box is in the shape of a cuboid. The height of the box is 5 cm less than its length. The width of the box is twice its height. So let us first draw a box. Alright. Okay, for part A, given that the length of the box is x cm, so we have the length of the box equals to x cm. Write down expression in terms of x for the height and the width of the box. So let us recall that the height is 5 cm less than its length. So we have the height equals to 5 cm less than the length. So that will be x minus 5 cm. And the width is twice the height. So that will be 2 multiplied by x minus 5. And if we expand this, we'll have 2x minus 10 cm. So this will be for our part A. For part B, the external surface area of the open box is 48 cm squared. Write down an equation to represent this information and show that it simplifies to 2x squared minus 15x plus 13 equals to 0. So in order to find the total external surface area, let us consider the front and the back first. In order for us to find the front and the back, they are actually the same surface area. We can actually take 2 times the length times the height. Alright, so we can first expand this and we'll get x squared minus 5x, and further expanding will get us 2x squared minus 10x. So now let us consider our left and right surface area. Okay, that will be the same 2 pieces of rectangles. We can take our height multiplied by the width. So that will be 2 multiplied by x minus 5 and 2x minus 10. By expanding this, we'll get 2x squared minus 10x minus 10x plus 50. And by further expanding, we'll get a 4x squared. This is a minus 20x times 2. That will give us minus 40x. And this will be plus 100. As this is an open box, so we just have to find the last piece, which is the bottom surface area. That will be length times width, so that will be x multiplied by 2x minus 10. By expanding this, we'll have 2x squared minus 10x. Alright, so let us continue by adding all of this surface area up. That will be 2x squared minus 10x, and this plus 4x squared minus 40x plus 100. Last but not least, the bottom surface area, 2x squared minus 10x. By adding all the common terms together, we have a 2x squared, 4x squared, and 2x squared. That will be a total of 8x squared. By adding all the x terms together, we'll get a minus 60x, and by adding all the constant together, that will give us 100. So this total surface area, as mentioned, is equals to 48 cm squared. So we'll have 8x squared minus 60x plus 100 equals to 48. By shifting the 48 over to the left hand side of the equation, we'll have 8x squared minus 60x plus 100 minus 48 equals to 0. That will give us 8x squared minus 60x plus 52 equals to 0. So by making this into the equation that they have given us, referring to 8x squared and the 2x squared, we can actually divide everything by 4. So dividing the whole equation by 4, we'll get 2x squared minus 15x plus 13 equals to 0. And so we have shown how to get the expression that they have asked for. Alright, now let's continue with the solving for part C. Part C is asking us to solve the equation 2x squared minus 15x plus 13 equals to 0. So, part C, to solve 2x squared minus 15x plus 13 equals to 0. One of the ways to solve quadratic equation is to use cross products. Okay, so for the 2x squared, we can write it down here. For the plus 13, we'll leave it here. And minus 15x, we'll leave it at the last column. In order to get our 2x squared, we can use 2x multiplied by x. In order to get 13, we can consider 1 and 13. So let's try. However, in order to get a negative 15x, we can use multiplying of the negative 13 with negative 1. So when we do cross multiplication, we'll have negative 13x and negative 2x. That will tally with our negative 15x. So the factorization of this quadratic equation will give us 2x minus 13, x minus 1 equals to 0. And in order to further solve it, we'll have 2x minus 13 equals to 0, 2x equals to 13, and x equals to 13 over 2. On the other side, we can have a or x minus 1 equals to 0, x equals to 1. So for the solving of a quadratic equation, we'll have got two solutions. Let's look at part D. Part D is asking us to explain why one of the solutions in part C must be rejected as the length of the box. So let's consider that the solving of the x will not only affect the length, but also the height and the width. If we are going to choose x equals to 1 as our length, the height will then be 1 minus 5, and that will give us a negative value. So as we can understand, length will never be a negative value. So x equals to 1 will have to be rejected. This is as the height cannot be a negative value. Alright, so last but not least, we have part E, which asks to calculate the volume of the box. So as we understand, the volume of the box will be equals to length times height times width. So we look at this, our length is as we have calculated in part C, 13 over 2, that will actually be equals to 6.5. So we have 6.5. Our height will be equals to 6.5 minus 5, and that will give us 1.5 multiplied by 1.5. And our width is twice of the height, so that will be equals to 2 times 1.5. That will give us 3 multiplied by 3. And if we press this in the calculator, that will give us 29.25. And the units will be in terms of cm cubed. Right? So that will be the answer for part E.